Alright, I'm going to show you some techniques to make your drums hit harder. But before I get into it, I'm just going to show you a quick clip of how my drums sound, so you don't get to the video and you think my drums sound like crap and you're like, why did I waste my time watching it? So here's a clip. That was a clip from a song on my upcoming EP that should be out pretty soon. There's a longer preview on my SoundCloud page, so you can check it out. But I just put that there, so if you like the way my drums sound, if you think they hit hard and you want to keep watching, okay. I hate it when I watch a tutorial on how to make a snare hit hard and you spend 5 minutes watching the video and gets to the end and it sounds like and it doesn't hit hard at all. It pisses me off more than anything. But anyway, I'm just going to go through the process of what I do to make my drums. If you don't have Ableton, if you have Logic, you can still do all the same stuff. I'm going to use a couple of tricks in Ableton, but you can still apply it in the Logic. I'll tell you how. I realize that I ramble sometimes when I'm making these tutorials. But anyway, alright, the first thing that I do, obviously I'm going to go through some samples. I've got several different, I got a ton of different sample packs and everything, but the ones I use most, oh my god, Vengeance samples. I think they're good samples. I don't, there's a bunch of people out there now that are like, oh, Vengeance, gay samples, everyone, Skrillex uses Vengeance samples, and I'm better than that because I don't use Vengeance samples. So, okay, if you're deadmau5 and you record all your own samples, then go ahead. But I like Vengeance samples, and I can make drums hit hard with them. So that's what I use. The first thing you want to do when you're making your drums, make a kick. You always want to start. Well, you do whatever, but I always start with my kick. I'm going to go to this one first. And what I do, and what you should have it in mind, like the kind of kick that you want to make. And you want to just audition everything. Alright, so I found a couple samples that I think could work, and I put them in here. And if you're using Ableton, one of the things you need to make sure of when you drop samples in is you put them in like that. But if you listen, let me take this off. Ableton kind of look, if you go to fades over here, it automatically puts fades in so you don't get clipping. You want to take that and move it over so it doesn't cut off the attack there. And then when you're making a kick, for most stuff, you don't want that big long subtail. So you just want to move this over and adjust the fade as you see fit, which I've already done over here. I'm going to be using this one for the top end, and I've EQ'd it so it's just the top, and then this one for the bottom end. Here's how it sounds. And then with the EQ. So when you get both of them together, it's starting to hit. Next thing you want to do, and I'm keeping this simple with the EQing, just putting just a little bit on there. And there's other things you can put on, saturation and whatever, but I'm just going to keep this simple so it's not the longest video out there and super boring. Next thing you want to do is group these together. And if you're in Ableton, you just right click on them and you can make a group. Call it kick. If you're using Logic or Pro Tools or something, you need to bus them and route them correctly. I like to put a color on it. And if you don't know about busing and routing, look it up. Find another video that deals with that. Alright, now that you've got your kicks grouped together, I'm going to show you some different plugins that you can use to put on that group to really to make your kick hit. And what you want to do is you want to just drag them over here to that group track. I've already got this on here, but the first one is a transient plugin. This one is the Sony Oxford or Sonox Transmod. It's very easy to use. The main thing you want to be adjusting is this ratio right here, and like this. So you can see how much that adds to the attack and just makes it snap. Also, when you're making a kick, that's the way you want to do it is just, what I've been doing, just hitting play and adjusting it and just keep hitting your space bar. But I wouldn't recommend doing it at 5:52 a.m. if you have roommates or, unless you live by yourself like me. Another transient plugin is the SPL Transient Designer. The SPL pack is great for drums. There's a lot of good things to use in there. I find that the Sony, the Sonox Transmod snaps a little bit harder, but then there's another plugin that I always use in all my tutorials. If you don't have it yet, you're a loser. But this sausage fattener. Actually, I think it sounds a little bit better without it, but just another plugin to keep in mind that you can throw on there. Another thing you can do if you have Ableton, if you go into the audio effect rack section here, in the drum processing, they have some really good presets for some of these effect racks. One that I've used before is this kick hard attack. And it adds some compression on there, and you can adjust these macro controls. Regardless of what program you're working in, another thing you want to put on your kick bus is some compression to just glue them together. And like I said before, I really don't know much about compressors and the physics behind them, but I do know that it just helps to seal them together, and it's definitely something you want to put on your kick. And there's no magic setting. You just adjust this accordingly to your own kick that you're building. Alright, I'm just going to show you a couple more plugins that I like to use. I tried to not make this go over 10 minutes, but I think it's going to. But, alright, this one's the Mix Saturator 2 by PSP. It's really nice because it's got this picture of a penis with headphones on up there. But yeah, just in the warmth, this section over here, this low section is really great. Mix bass, this has compression and everything's great for mixing, low end. Vintage Warmer, one of the best plugins ever. Ask any mix engineer, they'll tell you that. It's just great. SPL, we already went over that. And then the Oxford Transmod, which looks like it was made in like 1996 or something. This one is a Waves SSL-G channel. Also an elitist plugin, modeled after the SSL boards. It's got compression and EQ and everything, and yeah. And then the old sausage fat in there. The reason I made this tutorial is because I get messages all the time on SoundCloud from you guys, and I honestly I respond to everything that I get. I'm pretty sure I have, but I listen to everyone's tracks that they send me, and the thing that's always lacking is the drums. I feel like I'm sending the same messages over and over again. It's just like, okay, your song sounds pretty good, but your drums don't hit, and that's the most important thing to your track. More important than making your filthy bass drops and your cool synth sounds and everything. Your drums are so important. I'll spend just hours sometimes working on a kick and working on a snare. I was thinking about making another tutorial about how to make a snare. Let me know in the comments, or give me some feedback on my Facebook page or something if you want that. But I hope that helps. Sorry if this has been like boring and monotonous. I never mean to go. I'm gonna close with a preview of my new EP. It's also on SoundCloud. So like me on Facebook and follow me on SoundCloud.